Ladies and gentlemen, Baltmatrix here, and today we are taking a look at Transformers The Last Knight Deluxe Class Cogman. This figure was provided to me by Twitter user Zebra Nips. Zebra Nips, yes. She actually reached out to me and said, "Hey, you've never reviewed this figure. Would you like to if I could get it?" I said, "Sure." So I paid for shipping and handling, and they provided the figure to me. And I have to admit I'm a little bit surprised, because I'm liking this figure more than I probably should. The alt mode for Cogman is that of a DB11 from Aston Martin, and it is a very nice alternate mode. However, the silver does not pop as much as the silver of the real car does, but I do appreciate a couple of the touches. The wheel, or the hubcaps, the wheels are actually, in this case, there are no hubcaps. The wheels are actually painted there on the spokes. It has tail lights. There is some decent painting up top. Yes, it's rather monochromatic, but that's okay. It works, oddly enough. And this figure was a Titans Master. So pop open the little top of the vehicle there, and we have our Cogman Titan Master. Unfortunately, the Titan Master is missing, well, any paint whatsoever. Oh, I did forget to mention this was originally a Japanese exclusive. It was supposed to come out in the US. It didn't, and then it did much, much later, closer to around the time that Toys R Us went under. So, Cogman, it's really hard to see, but right there, that is definitely Cogman's face. And also, speaking of Cogman's face, is right here. Haha! That's incredibly well detailed, well painted, just really well done. The transformation of the Transector into robot mode is pretty easy. Start off with, open up the car top like you're going to remove the Titans Master. Then come to the front of the vehicle, push the grill up, and grab the entire hood and pull it up. And just kind of wiggle it up until you hear it snap into place. There's a pin in there, which we'll get into in a second. Take the entire front of the vehicle mode and split it in half. Or, not split it in half. Pull it apart. Pull the... come on. There. Pop the front pieces apart like that. And then you can spin the hood around. Flip it up underneath. Bring it around. And then push it back down into place while folding out the shoulders, like so. Then come underneath the hood and flip down the robot's chest, and even the inside of the robot's chest is painted exceptionally well. Look at all those cogs! Now that we've got that done, we can come to the side of the door and pop the side of the door down from behind the wheel, flip out the fists, and then close up the forearm. So on this side, we can do that a little differently. Flip out the fist, close up the forearm, and unpeg it from the shoulders, and then stand the figure up. You'll notice that the sword of The Last Knight is here. It's not in talisman mode, but it is in actual sword mode. We'll put it off to the side for now. The rear of the vehicle mode will split apart, unpegging from the rear glass. And then this whole section will accordion up. Or I should say the roof, the front windscreen, and the rear windscreen will accordion up to form the backpack of the robot mode. Next, grab the rear wheel and pull it all the way out, away from the figure. Fold up the rear door panel, and flip the whole section up, and turn the leg around. Do the same thing on the other side. Grab the wheel, fold it all the way out until it stops. Fold up the rear wheel section and rear door until, it stops behind the wheel. Then grab the foot and fold that up to form the rear of the shins. Stand the figure up. And then we will attach the Cogman. And here we go. And, wrong one. And Cogman! Even though the figure does suffer from having a bit of kibble on it, the overall robot mode is incredibly well done. It's well painted and looks just good. Yeah, it's a big, bulky movie-verse Transformer. There's no getting away from that. But this is so well painted and so well sculpted that I pretty much forgive any of those design issues and design aesthetics that I genuinely don't like. But this figure looks really, really good. I mean, the entire torso section is painted so brilliantly. You have to. You would be forgiven if you thought that this was not a Hasbro figure. I mean, look at that abdomen on its own. It's a giant series of cogwheels. And then the chest, we talked about the what's underneath the chest, and the face. And the overall look of the figure is incredibly good. Hasbro really stepped up their game here. In terms of posability, it is a very posable figure with some minor issues. Head can't really look down or up, but it does move side to side. Inside the chest, there is a hinge for the transformation and a ball joint in the shoulder, swivel in the upper arm, and a 90-degree hinge at the elbow. No fist articulation. No torso articulation, but there is a ball joint in the hip. Forward kick can go 90 degrees. Backward kick can go about 80 degrees. And then the outward kick is limited to about 45 degrees, maybe 30, between 35 and 45, because of the thigh, which hits there is a swivel at the upper thigh just above the knee, and then the knees are locking ratchets. So they kind of lock in a few positions. Position 1, position 2, and position 3. And then there is a little bit of toe articulation based on the transformation. The biggest complaint I have about the figure is its lack of heels. So if the heels are not lined up to carry the bulk of the backpack correctly, the figure just falls flat on its back. I would have loved to have the fists be able to hold a Titan Master Peg. They cannot. They're just a little bit too small. They hold other weapons with no problems, but having, Cogman kind of hold Nitro Zeus's head would have been a nice option, but I'll go with this. This works. Cogman is a very cool figure, and it's definitely worth having in your collection, even though the movies are kind of done and over with in terms of what we've been getting for the past 10 years. I like this figure a lot. I really do. Yes, there are a few minor issues. I think some of the ball joints are too loose, especially in the hips and in the shoulders. Nothing I can't fix. But it's a fun figure. It transforms pretty easily. The only thing that I do have to warn you about is it's not in the directions, but the piece that holds the hood on, it's that pin. That pin is not shown anywhere in the directions. The directions just say, just pull the hood over and flip it around. No, you got to be a little bit more forceful than that, and it won't break. It just feels like it will. So once again, thank you so much, Zebra Nips. I really, really do appreciate you grabbing this figure for me. And folks, if there's a figure that you want me to review, just let me know. Hit me up on Twitter over @Baltmatrix, or just message me here on YouTube. I do read them when I get them. Folks, let me know what you think of this figure down in the comments. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter. Hit me up on Instagram. As always, I am Baltmatrix, and I'll catch you next time.